The church isn't a building, it's a people. Everything the church does can be thought of as a river with many different tributaries that feed it. No matter what an individual's entry point is into this river, whether they're just floating along nicely or swimming full speed ahead or just dipping their toe in, the important thing is that the whole river is flowing towards Jesus. As a Christ-centered, gospel-believing church, we know that every person needs to move close towards Jesus in every area of their life. That every person is unique and therefore at different stages of discipleship, growing at different rates and in different ways. And that every person will need help from time to time when life throws a crisis at them, no matter how close to Jesus they are. Nobody goes it alone. So if everything a church does is a river flowing towards Jesus, we want it to be a river that flows well. Discipleship is the job we want to do effectively. Discipleship is the process of following Jesus, learning to attach ourselves ever more fully to Him, and resembling Him with increasing clarity as we draw nearer to Him, bringing others along for the ride as we go. That's what we want to do well. How do we measure our effectiveness as a church? We start by looking at the general stages that all disciples must grow through, and then, as best as we can, planning to facilitate them. Keep in mind, it doesn't always look like a linear progression in real life, but in general, we want people to grow through learning the essentials of Christianity, joining into the church family, growing and serving others, going beyond comfort to cost, and eventually leading the church and helping to grow new leaders, and caring and being cared for in the middle of crisis. That is what we want for every disciple of Christ. And that's why we have a comprehensive discipleship plan. It's comprehensive because it should have everyone in mind, believers of every age, from the cradle to the grave, and every stage of spiritual growth. It's about discipleship in our church because the church is called to make disciples. And it's a plan because we believe that by intent or neglect, the programs we run, the people we are, the environment we foster, and the culture that we create will help or hinder disciples in their journey. So we need to plan to do this well. We want to be intentional and organized for discipleship growth in the life of our church, moving people towards Jesus no matter what stage of life they are or what stage of their faith journey they're in. The Comprehensive Discipleship Plan does a few things for those leading the church. It shows our sufficiencies, stages that are currently organized to occur within the life of our church that are working well. It shows our insufficiencies, stages that need to better be organized to occur within the life of our church or that exist and just aren't working very well. It allows us to adapt. The effectiveness of everything we organize is determined by how well we are engaging real people in walking closer to Jesus. If we find aspects of our organized plan, the programs, the people, the environment, the culture, that they're not as effective as we want, well, we change the plan. The Comprehensive Discipleship Plan helps us to know what to say yes to and what to say no to and why we are saying yes or no. Because if needs aren't being met and people aren't growing closer to Jesus, we as leaders need to change what we're doing. This plan also does a few things for those in our church. It identifies the next best steps for individuals to take in the life of our church, and it articulates the big picture, how different ministries are working together to form a healthy church. It allows for people to understand how they contribute to the health of the whole church, as well as it enables people to disciple each other by understanding and utilizing the strengths of others. So that's what our Comprehensive Discipleship Plan helps us do. But more important is what it enables us to be, a church of individuals gathered together that desire Jesus and know how to take steps towards Him. When a group of gathered believers is focused on Jesus, they become positive, empowering, inviting, and motivating. They help us to understand and encounter Jesus and build our desire to be more like Him. They propel us forward in our spiritual growth rather than forcing, manipulating, or inducing guilt in us. Our deepening roots in Christ create an insatiable desire to be like Him. Together, as the Spirit works in us, Christ-centered gathered group culture is a propeller that generates the momentum for individuals to move through the discipleship river.